Hope you are all having an absolutely fantastic day. Welcome to the fourth dimension of gaming. Today's video is really special to you, because in today's video I am going to show you top 5 open world games for low-end PCs. Specifically, we are gonna be talking about games like Forza Horizon 4, which are like some sort of cross-pollination between Grand Theft Auto and Need for Speed. Now don't worry, there's no racing game included in the list. Nonetheless, Forza Horizon 4 is still a racing game, but it still has a beautiful vast open world to explore. So I found out 5 games, among hundreds of other that does somewhat the same thing, but it won't demand you this. So don't expect the same level of quality that Forza Horizon has to offer you, because these are low-end PC games. So before we get started, if it's your first time watching my video, then do not forget to subscribe, and hit the bell icon. So now let's get started.
Let's roll. 3, 2, 1.
So starting with number 5 spot, we have the BeamNG Drive. This is not my gameplay or my hands. This gameplay is by Chris Felker. You should definitely go check him out. Link in description. Unfortunately, I don't own the full version of the game. Only the demo version of the game is playable on a low-end PC. I'm too broke enough to afford the game, but from what I can tell from YouTubers, it's actually a big improvement from any other game that looks like realistic damage. No, this game's damage makes it look like you are instantly dead. Back on my point, the game seems fun and very innovative combined with automation. All of the maps are open world and have a free roam mode. The best way to start is with the original grid map, a playground full of blocks, ramps and jumps for you to careen into, over, and off of at the highest possible speeds. You can do anything in this game with cars, realistic off-roading, street racing against cops, Need for Speed style, endless cop chases, crazy stunts, testing vehicle features, etc. You can use mods that include cars, maps, even frickin' airplanes. Like I said before, the crashing is the most popular among us BeamNG drivers. You can do whatever you want within your PC's hardware limitations and the few mods that haven't been made for this game yet. So definitely worth trying out. On number 4 spot, we have Driver San Francisco. This game was a unique, nostalgic masterpiece. The concept of swapping into the body of another driver in a separate car shows how creative the developers were when they were making this game. I couldn't get over that gameplay mechanic no matter how much I think about this game. One of the best old-school racing game I have ever played, worthy of 6 stars, runs on literally any PC, yet remains perfectly playable. Turning the settings up all the way makes it indistinguishable from modern console and PC games. First, when I saw it on YouTube, I thought it was some stupid mechanic games. After downloading it, I could not believe it was a driving game. Even the graphics were pretty amazing for a 2011 game. The missions were fantastic, it gives a thrill of excitement. The cars were amazing. My favorite car has to be the Audi TT-RS. The sounds of engines my nerves as I am drifting in the San Francisco. I gotta say, it's a pretty nice game and I wish they would make another game like this. Unfortunately, you cannot buy this game anymore. The only way you can get this game is to download for free from the description link, so definitely worth trying out. On number 3 spot, we have the Crash Time 4 Syndicate. There were a lot of games that were coming out on the range of home consoles that looked absolutely amazing back in 2010. They were at the pinnacle of what the consoles were capable at that moment in time. We used to get excited about them coming out. We look at each frame of animation frothing at the mouth. Crash Time 4 The Syndicate is not one of these games. Not by a long shot. There are good aspects of the game. In general, the city looks good, and if you're just glancing at the screen for a moment, then things don't look too bad. Things are vastly different if you're the one playing the game, though. Unlike reviews, the models of the cars don't look bad, but if you look a little closer you'll notice that the textures are extremely bland, a trick that developers often utilize to keep the processing power down within their games is to create 2 textures for game models. a low-resolution texture for objects that are far away, and then a high-resolution texture that will get loaded once you're a little close. All of the models in Crash Time 4 looks as if the developers simply forgot about adding that high-resolution texture. In a time when we're getting treated to some truly stunning games, there's no other way to describe the feeling of looking at something like Crash Time 4 than simply disappointing. But good graphics is never an option in our community, so it's still worth trying out. On number 2 spot we have the Fuel. The main bread and butter thing about this game is its map size, which is around 14,000 square kilometers. I mean, it's too hard for a human brain to truly comprehend the true vastness of the size of the map in this game. However, I can make it easier for you to truly understand the map size in this game. The map is roughly 428 times larger than the map of GTA San Andreas. Yeah, it's truly humongous. The premise of the game is that it's an open-world racer that lets you explore thousands of miles of forests, desert, snow and more. As you drive around, you'll discover rundown cars that give you new paint jobs, vista points that give you something pretty to see, and even maverick vehicles that you can run into to add to your garage. One of the biggest issues is that despite the fact that the world is huge, it's boring. There's not really a whole lot to see here outside of what you'd expect from snowy mountain tops, dry plains or tree-filled forests. It's so massive that driving from one place to another can take you over 10 minutes, and when all you get is a new coat of paint, that's simply not worth your time. The immensity of the world is lost on the actual events, since you don't actually need to drive to any of them. You can just choose to start them from a list, so still worth trying out. On number 1 spot we have Test Drive Unlimited 2. Just like the previous game in the list, this game has a huge map, but it's only around 1,000 square kilometers, or about 33 times the size of the map in GTA San Andreas. Unlike Fuel, this game isn't boring. The map is pretty detailed. This game was way ahead of its time. It is a fantastic game that I still periodically go back to 9 years later. They did Forza Horizon before Forza did, and in my opinion, they did it better. It may not have the best graphics or handling model, but it is still one of my favorite racing games of all time. This game allows you to explore diverse open-world racing, buying cars and houses, customizing your character, etc. They had features in this game that most modern racing games still can't do properly, such as having indicators and the ability to roll up and roll down the windows in cars. You weren't forced to race in this game. You could do whatever you want. The map of Ibiza was replicated via satellite mapping, and was almost identical to the real thing, and once you reached a certain level, you could go to the airport and fly to Hawaii. The map from the first TDU game, it was perfect. It really was unlimited freedom to do whatever you wanted to. Definitely a must-play for any open-world game fan. So guys, that's all for this video. Comment down your favorite and least favorite game in the list. I overall think Test Drive Unlimited 2 is the best. Let me know your opinion, and if it was your first time watching my video, then do not forget to subscribe. You won't regret doing that. Okay, with all due respect, love your parents, respect your nation, and most importantly take care of yourselves, and as always, thanks for watching.